We've all been there, hunched over, face blotchy, gasping for air in a way that is anything but camera ready. We call it the ugly cry, and usually we're embarrassed by it. But actually, ugly crying is really good for you. Paging Captain Obvious, we don't want to be breaking down on the regular at work or in social settings. But in private, letting yourself fully grieve over your childhood, a lingering heartbreak, or whatever it is that is currently poleaxing your world or has in the past, you are allowing your body its natural and healthiest way of releasing and processing emotional overload. It's never very glamorous to say that most really effective therapy is actually grief work, but it's true. Not grieving keeps us stuck, it keeps our body stuck, and it prevents us from being truly emotionally available to ourselves. And when we aren't truly emotionally available to ourselves, guess what? We attract, tolerate, put up with emotionally unavailable people again and again and again. Will you feel resistance to ugly crying? Absolutely. We've been trained out of it endlessly, but it's one of our most raw and primal sources of healing. It's free and it's cathartic AF. Because emotions that are suppressed don't disappear. They show up in the body. They show up as triggers, anxiety, depression, phobias, OCD, and so on. As Carl Jung, who I like to pretentiously quote from time to time, says, all neurosis has its reason in legitimate suffering. And this quote is actually the basis of all of my work. By ugly crying, we get in touch with the raw, legitimate suffering and the grief we just didn't have the resources to process at the time. There can be fear that if we cry, we won't stop, but we will. And we can do this with a therapist, or feel safe enough to do on your own, put on some sad music and just let yourself cry. Sometimes when there's childhood wounding, it can also be helpful to look at a picture of ourselves as a kid and connect in with that really, really deeply. It really opens the heart. It is important to move beyond the pressure, to stay composed, to be fine, even though you don't feel fine all the time, to keep everything neatly contained because society expects it. So, rather than seeing the ugly cry as something to hide, we might start to see it as a portal to much, much deeper healing and a much renewed connection to yourself. And that is true emotional availability.